through the same thing that we're talking about right now. It just wasn't televised. Nobody talked about it. So the thing is that the work will continue to be there. And we have to make sure that once this is done, is that we have to try to make change occur when it comes to police brutality. And what I'm saying is that there has to be a deterrent. If that man can be handcuffed and that man can sit on that man's neck for that long and feel comfortable about it, that means that he's not afraid of what's going to happen. We have to change the language. They have to be worried that I could go to jail for this. They have to respect us. They have to love us. That man cried out for his mom. That man cried out for his mom. On top of that, I got a chance to talk to Ahmaud Arbery's father. To listen to this man talk about how his son was his baby boy, 26 years old. He talked about how he paid it forward with the education. His daughter had a master's degree, but he doesn't know how to tell his daughter that his son is gone. What we're doing right now is the most important thing in letting these people know that we love them. We were in Minnesota. We got a chance to see people up close. We got a chance to see this, how beautiful and peaceful it was. And a lot of times they don't show what's happening right here. So I hope that we keep the pressure on them and let them know that we're here with solidarity, that we're here, we're peaceful, but we are aggressive. We are aggressive. And what I want to say about my Hollywood friends, you got to get out here. You got to come out here. You can't sit back. You can't tweet. You can't text. You got to get out here. So many people have texted me, Fox, can you tell them stop doing this? Fox, can you tell them stop doing that? You tell them. You come out. You see what it is. You got to understand people are hurting, and I'm not agreeing with any. I'm not agreeing. I don't know what to say. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing, but all I can say is that when you hear and you see how people are hurting, you can understand what it is as opposed to being in your bedroom or your living room and saying, hey, I don't like this. Get out of the cul-de-sac and come down here on the courtroom steps. Some of those private jets that you got, get on them, because people like Dr. Amos Brown had to march. They had to march in Alabama. All we have to do is get on our bus or plane or whatever and get here and let the people see you. And that's a challenge to all of you, because they have been calling me. I will tell you, they have been calling me saying that they want to help out. And I said the best way to help out is to just let them see your face. All I want to do is let y'all see my face and let you know that the people on the front line that work and do this every single day, you could call on me, and I'll come anywhere. I'll do anything. I'll sing, tell a joke, whatever it is. But we have to be here, because at the end of the day, the most important thing is this. I'm still worried that they may try to pull one on us. Let's not forget that. They may try to pull one on us. Even now, they say we didn't see what we saw. And I continuously say, how can we see it as a murder and they see it as a misunderstanding? The work is still here. I'm only here to, I don't preach or anything like that, but I just want to be here to let you know that you got somebody that you can call anytime. Anytime I'll be here, because like I said, the other day, as I'm talking to my young kids, as I'm talking to my nephews, as I'm talking to my daughter, trying to tell them how to act when they're out there and they see a police officer, I'm sort of running out of things to tell them. And it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way in America in 2020. We have to evolve. We got to get past that. And the only way we get past that is that you look into this crowd and understand what made me so happy. It wasn't just black people saying it. It wasn't just black people saying it was wrong. It was all of you people that are not black. I'm going to be honest with you. White people, man, it goes a long way. It goes a long way to hear you step up. And I know sometimes it get uncomfortable, but I'm telling you, it goes a long way. And to the black people, don't stop. We're going to keep it going. I got my sister here. Right here, I got my sister here, Deidre Dixon, from the hood, South Dallas. I got all my brothers here, Breon and Tyron and Dave Brown, who's Amos's son. Listen, we ready for the fight. We won't stop. No weapons formed against me shall prosper. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter.
Thank you, Jamie. Yes, yes. Thank you, thank you. Now clap it up for Mr. Jamie Foxx. Yeah, okay, so Jamie is going to be here with us, and he's going to introduce something special. So, I mean, this is so awesome. Thank you so much for being cooperative, for being peaceful, for being here in solidarity with us, because Black Lives Matter. And so here you go, Mr. Fox.
And listen, another young man called me, a young man who I've admired. His spirit is amazing. We talked about George Floyd. We talked about Stephen Jackson. We talked about how these brothers meant so much to their communities. The fact that George Floyd had just started his own church. Those are things they don't tell you. The fact that he was teaching young kids to put guns down and lead a different path. Sometimes they don't know who they're killing. They don't know who they're killing. But today we got somebody here who's going to sing something for us. His voice is amazing. His spirit is amazing. His name is Tank, and he's about it.
First thing I want to say is that I love every last one of you that are out here today under the sound of my voice. I just want to sing a little piece of something, but before I do, it's something we like to do in church. Look at your neighbor, look at your neighbor, look at your neighbor, look at your neighbor, and tell your neighbor, I love you. I love you. Give them a social distance hug. Hug yourself. Give them a social distance hug. And the one thing I do know is that everything that we're doing right now, it's all about change. So it would be so fitting if we just did a couple pieces of A Change Is Gonna Come. Y'all know what I'm talking about? I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, just like that river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it is. I just want to do one more piece. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, yeah, but I know a change gonna come. Say that. A change is gonna come. As long as we keep doing this, a change is going to come. As long as we keep believing that all life is important, especially black lives, a change is going to come. Stand in front of this and be the change you want to see. God bless you.
Okay. All right. No. Excuse me. Now, how about that, honey? If after this, if y'all don't go home or go somewhere and relax, then I'm coming after y'all. So here we are fighting for justice. George Floyd and all others, Mario Woods and all others who's been killed by police brutality. And I just want to say, for a little bit while I'm introducing the next speaker is that where did the police departments come from? Do you guys know? They came from slave catchers in the early 1700s. You want me to introduce you? No. Here's Gwen Woods, Mario Woods' mother. You want to take the photograph?
No. Where's Eric? Please bear with me because you guys need to see the faces that this is impacting. Rudy, can you bring your team up, please? They fight every day for our community. Jamie Foxx, thank you, because if you don't bring your status into this, they feel it's okay. Let me tell you the ugly side of this. It causes you to test your faith and your belief. I don't want to believe in the God of that New Testament. I want to believe in the God of Old Testament in Hebrew when he told Joshua, walk that city 7 times, take it down and destroy it. Mario didn't get justice. They threw me a few crumbs that I can hardly survive on, but he didn't get justice. That's right. He can't rest in peace because there's no justice. Rest in peace, George Floyd. They literally took a knee to his neck. Where's that in the police training? It's not 9 minutes. That was to prove to us that, guess what? They're going to keep coming back at us. I felt so bad when this happened. I felt I couldn't come out and even protest with you all because I settled with the city. I didn't want to. I sold more out, I swear.
We're here with you, Gwen. We're here. Breathe, Gwen.
Say it.
Can you get her some water?
It's right here.
Every time I saw that officer kneel George Floyd's neck, I saw Mario. He was not a threat. And I'm going to tell you again, San Francisco, he wasn't a threat.
That's right. That's right.
He was 5'5". He was barely 160 pounds wet. You just knew you had carte blanche to do that. And like you said, Jamie, because there is no accountability. No one goes to prison. I don't mean resign because Sergeant Kempinski in San Francisco in my Bayview community said he took the Bayview station to kill niggas. Right. They allowed him to resign out gracefully. You, me, and everybody else. If we're on our work, there's a zero tolerance policy. It should be the same with officers when it comes to racism, sexism, homophobia, a zero tolerance policy.
Say it again. Say it again.
Zero tolerance policy. You can't police me if you hate me and fear me. It's never going to turn out well for me or my sons or my brothers or my sisters. I need you to see the faces that this impacts. This man here, Eric Jones, this baby here, this brother here, any one of these brothers, just like J. Cole said, given any day, on average, however that officer will feel, could be a bad day, a very bad day for us. It was a very bad day for Mar, because guess what? His paperwork, y'all thought his paperwork made him a target. He was just primed for your execution. And whether it's ill, poor training, you fearing me, you just assimilated into this white, privileged society of a racist police force. That's what got him executed. 21 in the back. I'm not letting you forget this one. I'm not letting you forget that. Look around you. Look at all the signs. Look at all the signs. Look at all of our babies. Look at all of our babies. And because you didn't think nothing of them, we love them. We love them. Black lives does matter. Black lives matter.
Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter.
Black lives matter. Black lives matter.
Dylan Roof walks in a Bible study, and if he could have took out more than 9 people, and he is entitled to a bulletproof vest, a Burger King burger, and so he has us to fear. Mindset comes from Emmett Till. That white woman knew if she said African American male threatening, that could cost him his life. Amy Cooper, there it is. It cost Emmett Till his life. Rest in peace, George Floyd. Rest in power. You can't rest in peace. None of us can rest in peace. My baby can't rest in peace because there's never no justice.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Gwen Woods, Mario's mother, still fighting the fight for justice. We're going to bring up John Burris. The great civil rights attorney. Come on up here, John Burris.
Right behind you.
Absolutely. That's right, yeah, absolutely. Well, I will say this is a momentous occasion. It is something that we have not seen before. My time in this area of representing people in police cases started with Rodney King. And in that case with the video camera, but for that video, none of us would have ever really believed what happened. But because of that, it put us on a road for us to then become disbelievers in police statements about what had taken place. And I followed that all the way through.
Can you just make a quick announcement about social distancing on the platform?
Yes, social distancing. Please, on the platform. Okay? Let me, but from Rodney King, there was a straight line in terms of videos to Oscar Grant. And that happened in 2010. It had been almost 20 years. And from that, we have morphed to the point where now we have cell phones and police shoulder cameras and all of which makes us more informed. Because if you had not seen the video, you would not have believed what you saw. And that is very, very important for all of us, certainly for me as I go forward and litigate cases and try and fight the various cases. It's important that we have evidence to support it. But all of you have now seen it. And let me tell you, what you saw goes on all over America. My office has been involved in well over 30 death cases in the last 5 years. Some of those cases, the man who died said, "I cannot breathe." And he said that over and over. But yet, nothing could be done other than litigation because the general population did not know. And the reason why you didn't know is that the police agency refused to release the videos. We didn't get those videos until much later. If we had had them at the beginning, like we have in George Floyd's case, you would have been there then. Because you too would have been offended by what you saw, another man pleading for his life after having been denied air. And we've had other cases like that as well. But I want all of you to know that what we have here today is George Floyd is representative of what is taking place all over America, in all of the small towns and the big cities, little places, rural communities, we have police killing and assaulting and beating, falsely arresting men, African-American men. And what I'd like to do now, before I close here, is give you some sense about what this really means to the individual families. You heard Gwen Woods talk, and you know her pain that she has. Well, think that same pain is going on now in George Floyd's family. But that same pain has gone through other families. I have here Keota O'Neill, African-American male in San Francisco who was running from the police car. He runs by a police car. The officer shoots through the window and kills him. He was unarmed. He had been accused of committing a crime, but he had not committed the kind of crime that resulted in a death warrant. And that's the problem that we see in many cases. I talked about a case in Hayward where a man died in custody saying, "I can't breathe." Another man in Antioch saying, "I can't breathe." Amos Smith, a young 20-something-year-old African-American male, was running from the police. He gets shot down like he was a wild animal and killed. And the police officer had some crazy story about what happened. Same thing with Ja'Cory Calhoun, who was hiding. He gets shot down. Multiple shots in the back and in the front. He did not deserve that. He was executed on the scene. You all know about Damari Hogg, or maybe you don't, or maybe you do, but he was sleeping at an intersection in Oakland. The police come to wake him up. As they wake him up, they kill him. He wasn't even given a chance to respond to what was being done. I've seen that on at least 3 cases. You all know about Willie McCoy. Willie McCoy is a young rapper in Vallejo who was sleeping in his car. The police come to wake him up as he makes a move. He's shot over 50 times. The young man had no chance. And so those are the kind of things that we're concerned about. Rennell Foster, another young man in Vallejo, was stopped because he was riding a bicycle, and the guy wanted to teach him how to ride the bicycle in the evening. Ridiculous. He really just wanted to stop and check him. When Mr. Foster ran away, he was caught, and in the process, that officer shoots him in the back and in the back of the head. Unjustifiable. Recently, we had a case with a young man named Miles Hall. Miles Hall was 22 years old. He was laboring under mental condition. A condition had been talked about with the police on more than one occasion. A plan was in place. On the very day he's sort of acting out, he's running by the police. He has a pipe in his hands. He's running by the police. He's shot down. Multiple shots, and the police claimed that he was running after him. But there's a video, and the video clearly shows he was not doing what they claimed he was. But for that video, it would be a very, very tough matter for me to defend. So the video has become a revolutionary act that has taken place. We had Joseph Mann up in Sacramento. Joseph Mann was a homeless person. He was walking away, and the police decided to check him out. Who is he? Walking crazily. Walking away. Walking slowly away. The police try to stop him. They run him down with the car. When he gets up to run, they shoot him down and killed him. Joseph Mann did not deserve to die in which he did. And so, and more recently, I had the case of Mikel McIntyre up in Sacramento. 32-year-old man, had a kid, was having some mental problems, kind of gets into it with his mom a little bit. Police come, gets an argument with them. He takes off running. And he's running down the freeway, I-5. Many of you know what this is. He's shot down in the back. The video was not released. We do this whole case, and we have the video, but they don't release it to the public. They did this past week. I'm going to tell you, what they did was outrageous. And all of you should be very much upset by that. All of you should take it up and be willing to articulate and to demand the kind of interest and the kind of recall. So all I'm really telling you is that George Floyd is representative. He represents all of the other young people and young men and women who've been shot down by the police. And I don't want to say this in any way because Hispanics, we represent a lot of Hispanics who've been shot down as well under very questionable circumstances. So we're very clear that black and brown bodies are very easily subject to arbitrary use of police force.
Keep the mic up to your mouth.
Okay, I'm in a perpetual state of rage when I go to a scene and I know that cop is lying about what he said he saw. I'm outraged when I have to talk to the mom and try to explain to her the unfortunate aspect of the law, which not is always that favorable. And so what we're talking about is how do you deal with a situation where the laws have been placed in place, that the Supreme Court has decided that police have certain kinds of protections. And all of you don't know that. Like in this case in George Foster, there's going to be a real fight at some later point. I think Jamie Foxx made reference that something's going to happen. I guarantee you something's going to happen. There's going to be a defense that they're going to make that's going to try to get them either not guilty or an involuntary manslaughter. We saw that in the Oscar Grant case, a case that we believe was murder, that he was shot in the back while he was on the ground, when he has a hand behind his back, and one officer jumps up and shoots him dead in the back, and then claims at the time claimed that I thought he was going for a gun. But later when he lawyered up, he then said that I thought I was going for my taser. A jury in a murder case, criminal case, believed that he was going for his taser. And that is what the challenge is going to be. I don't put a lot of stock, particularly in the Justice Administration now. When Barack and the Justice Department was there was some hope that departments would be looked at, the kind of changes that we need, i.e., do not put your knee on the back of someone's neck, is a change, is a policy that should not be in place. That's the kind of thing that the administration and Barack Obama and the Justice Department would take a look at, just like they did in Ferguson, they did in Chicago, they did in D.C. You know, they looked in San Francisco, they looked in Salinas, cases I've been involved in. So things can get done if you have the right people in power. So it only goes back to what we all know, and you have to know it in your bones. Elections matter, and they matter at all levels, from the school board to the water district to city council, the supervisory, and all up to the state legislature, because those individuals will ultimately make the kind of decisions that will affect police power. And I'm going to tell you, if you want to have direct control over local policing, you've got to deal with the mayor's office. You've got to deal with the city manager. You've got to deal with who the police chief is, because the accountability can only come from the local areas. And all of you have that power, whatever community you are from. You can go back to that community and demand that the issues are developed and organized in such a way that you can address the problems that you see. We should not be having the kind of death sentences that people are getting in this community. Black or brown, it should not happen. And it can only not happen if you and the community insist in holding the people accountable. Transparency is important. Accountability is important. But you've got to demand those things if you want them to happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burris. We're going to liven it up just a little bit. I'm going to say his name, and I want everybody to scream out Shalim Tyndall. All right? I'm going to say his name, and I want everybody to say Shalim Tyndall. Say his name. 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 So I want to introduce the next speaker. This is my family, my blood first cousin. He is a pillar in our community. He represents San Francisco as a whole, the greater Bay Area, but he also come from Fillmore like me. He has put and tried his best to put the community on his back, in uplifting young people. When I got out of prison in 2004, he was the person that I looked to see what change actually looks like. He created a record label that I could actually work for. I was actually the A&R. I didn't even know what that meant. But I tried to figure it out because I knew what change actually looked like.